Hey, what's going on, guys? Jordan over here at the Movie Den. So for today's video, what I want to talk about is I want to go over my top 5 favorite horror movies for the year 2024. Guys, if you haven't already, make sure you go down below, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and of course, hit that bell notification just so you're notified anytime I post any of these videos. But let's go ahead and get started. So like I had said, today's video, I do want to talk about my top 5 favorite horror movies of the year 2024. Where I got this idea for this video is I was watching my buddy Frank. He does a live video every Tuesday. Most Tuesdays he does of random topics. And I have had the pleasure of being on 2 of them. It's always a blast. We have a good time. So guys, please go check out Frank's channel, Frank's Media and Reviews. He's an awesome dude, a really good friend, and please go support him. But anyways, he just did one actually tonight. I just got done watching it, and they talked about their top 5 horror movies for the year 2024. And that got me thinking, and I thought, hey, that's an excellent idea. So I decided to steal that idea from him and decided to make a video about it. That's kind of where the idea of this video came from. So Frank, thank you. Now I do have 3 honorable mentions, and we're going to go ahead and go over those first, and then we'll talk about my top 5 for the year 2024. But the first one for this year, we are going to talk about Immaculate, the Sydney Sweeney movie, kind of the Rosemary's Baby. The First Omen was a very similar movie to that, but Immaculate I did enjoy. I thought it was a well-done movie. I thought Sydney Sweeney did a fantastic job, and I actually found out she was the big push behind that movie getting made. So that's one movie I really did enjoy. I did just get it on 4K. They did come out with a Blu-ray a little bit ago. That was actually the first time I watched it. It was a blind buy for me. I really wanted to check it out, and unfortunately I missed it out of the theaters. I was trying to go, and things just kept coming up and it left the theater. So unfortunately I did not see it in the movie theater, but I picked it up and I absolutely loved it. It was a great movie. Really enjoyed it. The next honorable mention we're going to talk about is Abigail, the horror comedy movie about a ballerina vampire. And it was a fun movie. I found myself belly laughing at times. I thought Kevin Durant's delivery in this movie was top notch. He is hilarious, but we also got to talk about Dan Stevens in this movie. But his acting and his ability to just become different characters for these different movies, I thought was phenomenal. He did such a good job in that, and he's really the reason why I really enjoyed that movie, along with, like I said, Kevin Durant and all the other actors, and they all did a great job. And the last honorable mention that I have for this list is we are talking about Azrael. I did do a review of this one, and I'll go ahead and link it down below for you guys to check out. Guys, this movie I thought was really neat. It does take roots in religion and kind of multiple facets of religion in Christianity, Judaism, and Islam. But guys, I thought it was a great movie. It takes place I don't remember how many years after the rapture, and it follows basically this girl trying to survive as she gets captured by this clan of people. Everyone's mute because they took out their vocal cords. It's a very gory, but it is a fantastic movie. So that is my last honorable mention, Azrael. Guys, now we are moving into our top 5. So the first one we're talking about is Heretic. This is a newer one from A24. And let me tell you, Hugh Grant stole the movie. I absolutely thought his performance in this movie was so well done. He really carried the entire movie for sure. What I like about this movie is it is a movie that you really have to pay attention, and it makes you think, and it kind of leaves you questioning kind of what really happened at the end. But I gotta say, his performance had me hooked right from the moment that we meet him in his house. He just does a wonderful job. Basically, the whole movie is he's in a way performing a case study on these 2 girls. It's kind of twisted, but yeah, I thought it was a great movie. So my number 5, Heretic. So my number 4, we are talking about everyone's favorite clown, Art the Clown, and we're talking about Terrifier 3, the Christmas movie, the perfect Christmas movie. You guys, I thought this was a great movie. I had a lot of fun with this movie. The only thing I do have to knock it is I felt like it was a little long, and I did feel it a little bit in the movie, but I do love how they extended the lore even more. And of course, they had to up the kills and the gore, and they're just continuing that trend with every movie. And it makes me wonder, what else can you do? I mean, they went pretty far with this one, but I really enjoyed it. I thought it was shot really well. Just everything about it. Damien Leone and the team, they did an awesome job. The movies really are just getting better and better. So that's my number 4 pick, is Terrifier 3. Moving on to number 3, we have got The Substance. Guys, I gotta say, I am so happy to see a good body horror movie in 2024. So good, in fact, Demi Moore actually won a Golden Globe for her performance. And personally, I think it is well deserved. She did an amazing job. Normally, I'm not a big fan of movies leaning heavily into social commentary. However, this one really worked for me, and I really enjoyed all the practical effects in this movie. They didn't rely heavily on CGI. There was some, but I think the practical effects work in this movie was top notch. Like I said, the performances were fantastic. The message of the movie, I think, was really good too. So I really enjoyed that movie. So that's why I'm putting it at my number 3 for The Substance. All right, guys, now we are moving on to my number 2 pick. For number 2, I got to go with Robert Eggers' Nosferatu. This is a very new movie, just came out on Christmas Day. Now, I've heard some people either love it. Some people it was all right. I haven't heard very many people actually hate it. But for me, I loved it. Robert Eggers knocks it out of the park again with another masterpiece, beautifully shot, beautifully written. The music in this movie is so good. I actually got the vinyl for it and I love it. I listened to the whole thing. I always talk about the way Robert Eggers uses natural light in his movies, and this one is no exception. This movie reminds me of, if you take the creepiness factor of The Witch, but some of the dreamlike sequences, maybe a little bit of the spirituality, a little bit of the Northman, you put those together, I think you got Nosferatu. Look, guys, Bill Skarsgård as Count Orlok did a phenomenal job. His ability to tap into kind of what's called Mongolian throat singing, his ability to do that, to drop his voice and to really get those rolling of the R's, he did an amazing job. Now, of course, you didn't really see him that much. If you look in his eyes, you can tell, and there's certain kind of facial expressions or way he says things that I think you can really tell it's him. Another great performance is Willem Dafoe. He's kind of a staple with Robert Eggers. He seems to be really returning to a lot of his movies ever since The Lighthouse. It's Willem Dafoe. He's a treasure. He does. You could tell he has a lot of fun, and he's got his Willem Dafoe isms to his characters, and this one is no exception. He's got this, I don't know, just kind of comedic timing with him. Just this kind of just makes you laugh, and I love Willem Dafoe for that. And this would have made my number 1 pick. However, what I think put it just down to number 2, honestly, for me personally, was Aaron Taylor Johnson's performance. It was just kind of forgettable for me personally. I know some people really liked it, but this next movie I'm going to talk about, I think everyone did amazing. So that's why this next one I'm going to talk about is my number 1. But for number 2, we've got Nosferatu. And guys, before we go to my number 1, if you guys enjoyed this video, please make sure to go down below, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, of course, hit that bell notification. But anyways, let's go ahead and talk about my number 1 pick. And we are going with the movie from Osgood Perkins, Longlegs. I saw this multiple times in the theaters. I thought this was a perfect movie. Look, Nick Cage, I think this was one of his best performances to date. He did such a phenomenal job. And the reason I think he did so well is he had talked about in interviews where his mom actually had special needs. And so he tried to think back of the way she talked, her cadences, and he tapped into that for this character. And I think that's what made it work so well. It was so believable. You could tell it was Nick Cage, but you can also tell he became something completely different. And I thought he nailed the performance completely. Micah Monroe also, she carried the movie on her back. She did such a phenomenal job. She's slowly becoming one of my favorite actresses out there right now at this moment. Longlegs, to me, when I watched it, it was kind of a mix. If you took Hereditary and Silence of the Lambs and put it together, maybe a little bit of the Zodiac. That's kind of what I took from it. I think it was a phenomenal movie. That's why it's my number one. I thought the storytelling was perfect. I thought the pacing was perfect. Every single actor in this movie was top notch. Loved Longlegs. And that's why this movie is my number one pick for the horror movies of 2024, which is Longlegs. And guys, that is my video. Let me know down in the comments if you agree or disagree with my picks. And let me know what your favorite picks were for 2024 for any of the horror movies out there. I know there was a lot. I actually had to go and look through a list of all the horror movies that came out this year, and I was surprised at how many there actually were. So guys, I really do hope you enjoyed this video, and of course, you all take care.